She's so rotten, she wants migrants picking cotton. We present to you Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, who made this shocking argument why America needs immigrants. Roll it, Alfred.
So I had to go around the country and educate people about what immigrants do for this country, or the fact that we are a country of immigrants.
Right.
The fact is, ain't none of y'all trying to go and farm right now. Okay, so I'm lying. Raise your hands.
This is when the wheels fall off.
You're not.
Jasmine Crockett stepped into the spotlight, acting like confidence and sharp eyeliner were enough to take over the room. But Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly fired back like a wrecking crew, tossing sharp jokes and hard truths with zero patience for drama. Gutfeld's roasting hit so hard it felt like alarms should have gone off in the studio, while Megyn calmly cut through Jasmine's weak arguments like a lawyer watching a sloppy courtroom act collapse. In the end, Jasmine brought pure attitude into what was really a high-stakes chess match, and she got checkmated in front of a national audience.
Speaking of leftist hypocrisy and cluelessness, Jasmine Crockett is a rising star amongst the far-left progressives in this country. She's a representative from Houston, Texas, of all places, which makes no sense because she seems to be far too left for Houston, but apparently not, because they elected her. It must be like, Orange County in California being like the one outlier in an otherwise uniformly state, like all red with the one blue, all blue with the one red. Okay, so Jasmine Crockett got up at a Los Angeles dinner this past Saturday, and it was hosted by, this is perfect, the Human Rights Campaign.
She once studied at Rhodes College, a private school with a jaw-dropping tuition, close to $55,000 a year, while presenting a persona that often feels more like a staged act than serious political leadership. Her story starts in St. Louis. She's now 43, raised by a father who worked as a Baptist pastor and teacher, and a mother employed by the post office. Later, she finished her education at the Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School, another elite private school with tuition around $35,000 a year. Jasmine entered politics like she walked straight off a Bravo reality show set, blending dramatic flair into C-SPAN moments as if attitude could replace strategy. If TikTok rants and Twitter clapbacks counted as real qualifications, she'd already be Speaker of the House, Majority Leader, and proudly calling herself Secretary of Sass. But real politics demands a lot more than stylish poses and a perfectly timed side-eye.
Jasmine Crockett's got another hot take. No blacks and whites on a wedding cake. The Democrats' new chosen one, Jasmine Crockett, is in the news again for an old clip where she attacked Florida Rep. Byron Donalds for marrying a white woman. Roll it, Bertha.
The fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that whitewashed you?
That's not very woke, is it?
Then came Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly. Two media heavyweights who don't need filters, soft lighting, or cute emojis to make an impact. They weren't there to chat or tiptoe around feelings. They showed up ready to roast with the force of a televised demolition, not soft campfire jokes, but full-throttle commentary that shook the room. It looked like Jasmine had wandered into a high-stakes Shark Tank pitch dressed like a RuPaul's Drag Race contestant, Philly Bester edition, completely unprepared for the battlefield in front of her. This wasn't a polite podium debate filled with scripted thank yous. It was a full-speed verbal demolition derby, and Jasmine rolled in on a tricycle straight into a monster truck arena.
It's just, that's what she does. She puts out this video of her acting in a certain way, and that's how she fundraises.
We actually did a bit of a deep dive on her after my old colleague from Fox News, Todd Starnes, posted something on X not long ago, Walter. He posted the following. Jasmine Crockett wants you to think she's from the hood, that she grew up on the streets. The exact opposite is true. She attended an exclusive day school where tuition is nearly $35,000 a year. She also attended Rhodes College, a private school where tuition is nearly $55,000 a year. She's cosplaying a gangsta. So we looked up her background. She was born in St. Louis. She's 43. Her dad was a Baptist pastor and a teacher. Her mother worked in a post office. She graduated from Mary Institute and St. Louis Country Day School, one of the most expensive private schools in the city. Indeed, the current tuition, $35,000 a year.
To be fair, Greg Gutfeld came in with the energy of a sharp-tongued raccoon who'd memorized every clause of the Constitution and could swing sarcasm like a precision weapon. Meanwhile, Megyn Kelly took control like a school principal, stepping in to shut down a cafeteria food fight. Calm, but clearly in charge. And there was Jasmine, flinging verbal mashed potatoes around, not realizing the whole cafeteria showdown was being captured in crystal clear 4K, ready for the world to rewind and replay again and again.
That was 3 years ago. The ones of her just sounding like a normal person talking. 3 years, not like that was 20 years, but then she moved to Mississippi for all that time. That was 3 years ago. She sounded like a totally normal person. It's only now she's got her accent and she's going to kick everybody's ass. It's such an affectation.
Crockett's entire political style runs on what feels like aesthetic outrage, a congressional version of tossing glitter over an empty briefcase and hoping no one notices what's missing. It's loud, it's flashy, and it grabs attention for a moment. But once the sparkle fades, all that's left is a hollow nothing burger served with an extra large side of sass. What she brought to the table wasn't real legislative debate. It was cosplay dressed up as seriousness. Stuck somewhere between I'm reclaiming my time and can I finish my sentence, all built for viral clips instead of real governing. Along the way, she seemed to forget that real leadership takes more than dramatic pauses and perfectly staged moments made for social media highlights. Greg didn't even need to raise his voice. A few dry, razor-sharp remarks were enough to make Crockett's entire argument collapse like a bargain rack suit bought on clearance by a desperate campaign donor.
This woman, I've had about enough of her. She wants to be like a member of the squad. She thinks of herself like an AOC. She talks like, she's from the hood. Meanwhile, she grew up in a nice family. She didn't talk like this 3 years ago. 3 years ago, she sounded like you and I sound in this conversation. Like, I'm really excited to be going to Congress. I can't wait to get started on my new job. And now she's like, we need to smack him in the head.
We know that we work for the American people. And what we not gonna do is stand around while they pull this that they trying to pull right now.
Like, what? What do you, we have videotape. Why are you talking like that? No one believes this bullshit. And now she's graduated to acting like a thug. So congratulations. Your term in the U.S. Congress is going really well.
That was a great impression.
He brushed off her talking points the way a cashier dismisses expired coupons. Useless, irrelevant, and not redeemable in any serious political conversation. Every time Jasmine puffed herself up thinking she'd delivered a mic drop moment, Greg barely reacted. He looked so unimpressed it felt like he could finish a crossword puzzle mid-rant and still roast her before she wrapped it up. Then Megyn Kelly stepped in with the kind of presence that makes people sit up straighter without her saying a word. Suddenly, Jasmine's act felt like an audition for a congressional remake of Mean Girls. Megyn came armed with facts, dates, receipts, and that rare ability to dismantle someone's entire performance without ever raising her voice. Watching her break down Jasmine's presentation was like watching an IRS auditor on a mission, precise, relentless, and oddly satisfying. And since this wasn't a formal debate with strict rules or time limits, Megyn had full freedom to inspect Crockett's record like a frog in biology class. The twist was simple, though. There wasn't much to inspect. Jasmine's so-called contributions looked more like a failed group project where her only role was adding emojis to the PowerPoint and then claiming she carried the whole team.
Is she making any point there?
Like this makes me wish my mom made different father choices.
Gutfeld cut straight to the uncomfortable truth. Crockett isn't focused on policy, she's focused on performance. Her entire public persona depends on the illusion of resistance, complete with finger snaps, dramatic eye rolls, and Instagram-ready captions that play better online than they do on the floor of Congress. It's not that she lacks intelligence, it's that she leans heavily on intellectual theater, especially when cameras are rolling and hashtags are primed to explode. What she really needs isn't another televised showdown, but a PR handler, and maybe a mentor to remind her that Capitol Hill isn't an improv stage with a dress code. The harshest moment came when Jasmine tried to deliver a dramatic soundbite about fighting for the people. Gutfeld didn't even respond with words. He just smirked and paused, and that silence exposed her hollowness like a spotlight on a mime with no act. Meanwhile, Megyn stayed icy and composed, radiating the calm confidence only someone who has survived 5 presidential races and more media storms than a reality star in her 6th divorce could display.
So this is funny. Jasmine Crockett sits on the Judiciary Committee, and about a month ago, Walter, I testified.
Yes,
before
we saw this.
Yeah, and the hearings, the full committee hearings, are quite long. You can be there for over 4 hours. So, and they let the most junior members ask questions last. So I had to sit for quite a long time. And then at the very end, Jasmine Crockett, who I had never heard before, suddenly started screaming at me and Michael Schellenberger. And when you're a witness in Congress, you have to pay attention to what everybody says, because you never know when you're going to be asked an actual question and allowed to, maybe even allowed to speak. But I could not understand what she was saying. She was moving from one thing to another, and she was doing all that code switching stuff with the y'alls and y'all eyeing on this and everything.
Crockett's fans may call her bold, but shouting loudly doesn't make someone right. After all, someone yelling at a drive-through speaker is loud too, and that doesn't make it noble. While Jasmine turned every stage into a tantrum built for memes, the truth behind the noise couldn't be ignored. Greg and Megyn delivered a takedown so sharp and precise it could double as a masterclass titled, "How Not to Humiliate Yourself in Public While Pretending to Sound Smart." Their strikes landed with surgical accuracy, exposing every weak point like a live tutorial on avoiding self-inflicted embarrassment. When Jasmine stepped up, she tossed out empty buzzwords like confetti at a New Year's Eve party, desperately hoping one would stick. But this wasn't Times Square, it was a full-blown political roast. And she was the turkey at the center of the platter. Her entire defense relied on dramatic eye rolls, so it looked like she might sprain an optic nerve, while Megyn countered with bills, voting records, and a hefty dose of reality. Jasmine clearly hadn't touched policy since her last viral tweet. The mismatch wasn't even close. She brought vibes, while Gutfeld and Kelly came armed with footnotes, facts, and the patience of seasoned pros.
Do you share your boxcar with people of color?
I do.
Yeah.
My boxcar does not know race, does not know gender. It is a welcome space
That is so
where only
beautiful.
deodorant is not welcome. I like this Jasmine Crockett lady, right?
It's a great name, isn't it, for a villain?
Yeah, Jasmine, yeah.
It's
Crockett is the whitest last name you could ever have.
Yeah.
I want to throw that out there.
Sonny Crockett, Miami Vice.
Yes?
It's like the whole thing is like, because I've seen her, she's very well spoken, and then she gets on certain programs and lets it. So maybe this whole thing is like a Netflix documentary, like a new spin on Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
The contrast was almost cinematic. Jasmine positioned herself like she was preaching from Mount Olympus, yet her whole style ran on nothing more than Twitter thread energy. After taking such a scorching on-air blow, you might think she'd pause, reflect, maybe even crack open a civics textbook. Or, imagine this, read an actual bill. Instead, she doubled down, like someone trying to play Uno in a courtroom. Reverse, skip, draw 4. It all blew up spectacularly because this time, Greg and Megyn weren't playing games. They were delivering real-world reality checks, and Jasmine bounced harder than her campaign promises at a crowded press conference. Gutfeld and Kelly weren't mocking her appearance. They were exposing the hollow, influencer-style activism that turns hearings into clickbait performances instead of serious discussion. Jasmine has leaned on dramatics, eyeballing justice moments like props for the camera. But if she put even half that energy into legislation instead of perfecting angles for a viral clip, she might actually pass something more substantial than a glorified tweet dressed up as a committee submission. Results matter. That's the foundation of politics. And Gutfeld, with his signature dry dismantling, made it clear why her approach fails. Jasmine's political resume reads like someone Googled how to sound woke in 3 steps and quit after step 1. No landmark bills, no defining achievements, just a series of loud statements wrapped in self-importance.
But she is going to be the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
You are going to be so glad she
Keep
popped
her
up
around.
on the scene.
That's going to make up for the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We're going to get a segment a day from her.
Crockett treats change like a retweet from a blue check influencer under perfect ring light glam. while Megyn Kelly cuts through the act with the force of a chainsaw slicing through butter. Strip away the hashtags and theaters, and it's painfully clear Crockett's career isn't about public service. It's about polishing and promoting the brand of Jasmine Crockett. That's not leadership, it's a PR campaign disguised as politics, dripping with illusions of grandeur. Ever watch someone dodge responsibility by turning every criticism into a TED Talk about their feelings? That's Jasmine in one sentence. I feel attacked isn't a policy. I feel disrespected doesn't build roads or fix anything. But it does rack up likes, shares, and endless waves of outrage to keep the cameras on her, which seems to be her only real goal. Gutfeld summed it up perfectly when he compared her politics to microwaving a frozen dinner and calling it homemade. Plenty of noise, no real flavor, and nothing but disappointment at the end. She stacks empty platitudes like IKEA furniture, fast, flimsy, and guaranteed to collapse under real pressure. Her strategy is all volume, no substance. When cornered, she flails. When proven wrong, she blames everything, even the air around her, as if it personally offended her.
Like, this is, if you're going to talk about black history, at least know it. This is, at least know it, okay? But it goes back to, that was 45 seconds of some of the, like, Kamala, you good right now. That was some of the dumbest I ever heard in my life. Here's the thing. This goes back to what we talked about earlier. They never have a solution. Just listen to your dumbass talk. You want to talk about agriculture? Why don't you fix the lottery? Why don't you make it easier for people who want to come into this country to work in agriculture and equitation?
Yet somehow she imagines herself as Rosa Parks with a ring light. Spoiler, Rosa Parks didn't live stream her activism in portrait mode. Megyn barely had to lift a finger to expose the emptiness behind the performance. She simply pointed it out. And Jasmine's talking points evaporated faster than campaign promises the morning after Election Day. It was almost poetic, a walking contradiction demanding justice without doing the homework, crying oppression while flashing a press badge, and treating ignorance like a designer accessory. Crockett's signature political move isn't policy or persuasion, it's the stare, that dramatic glare she throws whenever she runs out of arguments, trying to make it look like she's channeling ancient wisdom. Like a magic 8-ball filled with nothing but attitude. But Greg and Megyn weren't fooled for a second. They've seen that tactic too many times. It's not strength, it's a stall tactic disguised as defiance. The roasting she received was so thorough, it didn't even need detailed rebuttals. Her silence wasn't powerful, it was forced. The kind of moment where the speech falls apart mid-sentence and the applause she expects never arrives. And let's be honest, this wasn't just a rough moment for Jasmine Crockett. It was a live demonstration of her entire congressional pattern so far. A masterclass in being loud and wrong at the exact same time. She doesn't walk into Congress to contribute. She struts in like she's headlining amateur night at a slam poetry club, convinced the spotlight belongs only to her. But in the real world, where action matters more than TikTok theateristics, Gutfeld and Kelly's takedown was a long overdue reset. Finally, someone said, "Stop pretending vibes equal vision." Crockett isn't representing her constituents.